Hello, everyone. Welcome to cricketworld.com. We are back again with our daily update on all that's happening in the world of cricket. As always, I've got my friend and colleague Nikhil Narayan with me. Nikhil, India's completed a 2-0 sweep of the Test series against West Indies, but the win in itself left a lot to be desired for Indian fans.
Yes, Chandresh. They ultimately won by 7 wickets on day five. Many would have thought they would have wrapped up the test match, within 3 days, at most four. But the West Indies showed, they showed stubborn resistance and they batted well in the second innings. Uh, you know, uh, the West Indies aggregate in this match, Chandresh, of 638 is the second highest for them in India since 1st January 2000. So you can imagine, how poor actually they've been in the last 2.5 decades. And kudos to them for putting up a fight against this formidable Indian unit, in conditions which were conducive to spin bowling. India, yes. Overall, I think, although they wouldn't be very happy that they stretched the test match to day five, overall they would be happy. It is, at the end of the day, it is a 2-0 sweep. After the 3-0 dropping against New Zealand at home, India continue their unprecedented domination at home. That would be a minor aberration now. If you see, Chandresh, since the 1st of January 2000, India have played 43 test series at home, won 34, lost 4, drawn 5. That is a staggering record for such a long period of time. So India won't look too much into this test match being dragged on to day five. I think it was also an easier track to bat on, Delhi, than Ahmedabad. Overall, they would be quite satisfied with the batters and bowlers. Kuldeep Yadav, the player of the match. Ravindra Jadeja, the player of the series. Hundreds to Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, and also a good outing for all the other batters, Dhruv Jurel, Sai Sudarshan. So they would be very happy with a bunch of performances.
Yeah, this was also first Test series win for India in about 1.5 years. They remember they lost the series to New Zealand in Australia, leveled the series in England, and this was the first Test series win for almost a year and a half. More importantly, for Shubman Gill, his first Test series win as captain, is only second series in charge as India's Test captain, and important points for India. Third successive Test win for India after the win in Oval in the last Test match in England. So three successive Test series win as well, Test matches win as well. So everything going well for India in this rebuilding phase and the transition phase for India in Test cricket. Now it's important to carry the momentum forward against South Africa next month, who right now, Nikhil, are in a pickle against Pakistan, against some quality spinners in Pakistan. It's going to get very interesting for them when they come to India as well.
Yes, Chandresh, a very interesting test match happening, in Lahore. Pakistan 36 for 2 in the second innings. At lunch on day three, overall they lead by 145. It will be interesting to see how many runs Babar Azam scores in the second innings. He's in a bit of a spot. His form in Test cricket since 2024 has been quite abysmal. Pakistan, if you remember, had folded for 378 after two batting collapses. South Africa were in command at one stage, Chandresh. They were 174 for 2, but then they lost a flurry of wickets and ultimately they folded, on day three. Uh, so, giving Pakistan a 109-run lead in the first innings. Tony Rizorzi scored an unbeaten, scored 100. It was his second turn after the 100 against Bangladesh as Chattogram last year. Uh, South Africa, although a bit behind, a 100-run lead on that wicket, 109-run lead on that wicket is a lot, and they will be disappointed. From 174 for two, having been bowled out for 269. But still, they are not out of this contest. If they can chase anything less than 220 in the fourth innings, they still have an outside chance in this Test match. Although the wicket is aiding spin, and it's not going to be easy for Pakistan. The 39-year-old Noman Ali, slow left arm orthodox, picked up 6 wickets. Sajid Khan, the off spinner, took 3. So 9 wickets to the spinners in the South African first innings. Noman Ali is interesting character, Chandresh. 86 wickets in just 19 tests for him at an average of 24. So those are phenomenal numbers, but clearly he is a late bloomer for Pakistan.
Yeah, talking about South Africa, moving on to the Women's World Cup, South Africa uh, picked up another win in the Women's World Cup, this time over Bangladesh. And as expected, it was Nadine de Klerk once again who starred in the end, finishing off the game for her side. But it was performances by Marizanne Kapp and Chloe Tryon, which made a big difference to the chase for South Africa. You must say, Nikhil, Bangladesh gave a good account of themselves in the game once again. A, a few things going their way here and there, and they could have very well won this contest.
Absolutely. Bangladesh have played well in this tournament, Chandresh. In this match, they're batting the top order also, top five fired. A brilliant quick fire, 51 of 35 by Shorna Akhtar, was the highlight of their batting performance. And at one point, Chandresh, Bangladesh had South Africa on the mat at 78 for 5. At that point, they were the favorites to win the contest. But then the experience of Marizan Kapp and Chloe Treyon, who added a match-changing, defining 85 run stand for a six-wicket, both registering 50s, and changed the match on his head. When Cap was dismissed in the 41st over, the score was 163. Trion then went at 198. Three wickets were in hand, still 35 required. But Nadine de Klerk, who scored a brilliant 84 versus India, also a match-winning knock, again held her nerve. And along with Masabata Class, took South Africa to a three-wicket win in the final over. She was dropped, remember, in the 49th over, ironically by Shorna Akhtar, the hero with the bat for Bangladesh, and she ended the game with a six. So Nadine de Klerk, brilliant performance under pressure. South Africa looking good, Chandresh. And this, the points table is not houting up. The top four suddenly, we're not very clear who, Australia, England look to finish in the top two, but there's a scrap for positions three and four. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and talking about the fourth place, today we have a game between New Zealand and Sri Lanka. The points table could change after that, and India could start feeling the pressure then.
Absolutely, Chandesh. Massive match for both teams. New Zealand lost to Australia and South Africa, but then defeated Bangladesh by 100 runs. A big win for them there. Sri Lanka at home in Colombo will not be an easy opposition. They were decent against India, but not good enough to beat them. And lucky to get a point versus Australia in the washout, and were then thrashed by England. So they'll be desperate for a win. I think the two big players for New Zealand will be Sophie Devine, the leading run getter with two fifties and 100, and the right arm medium pacer who's been the unsung hero, Liata, who 3 for 22 versus Bangladesh and 3 for versus Australia also. For Sri Lanka, I think Chamari Atapattu and the slow left arm orthodox Inoka Ranavira, 4 wickets versus India, 3 versus England will be key. Overall, if you see the head-to-head, New Zealand start favourites, 13-2 record over Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka at home on a spinning wicket, it will not be easy for New Zealand. But if New Zealand do manage to win, things do get a bit tricky for India, because the New Zealand and South Africa are challenging India, for a position in the top four. So the contest is heating up, Chandresh.
Yeah, moving on, the ICC T20 World Cup 2026, the men's T20 World Cup 2026. Remember, there's also women's T20 World Cup, which happens later in 2026 in England. But this is the men's T20 World Cup, which is going to happen in India and Sri Lanka. There are still three slots available for that particular tournament. What's the status with that? It's currently underway. One we previously spoke about Ross Taylor playing in that tournament. What's happening with that tournament?
Yes, Chandresh, it's the ICC T20 World Cup qualifier, Asia and East Asia Pacific. Actually, 9 teams, 6 from Asia and 3 from East and Asia Pacific, across 2 regions, have taken part in this qualifier in Oman. And they're battling for 3 positions in the main T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka in March next year. 17 teams have already qualified, as you just mentioned. Interest. The status as of now, we've reached the Super Six stage in this qualifying tournament in Oman. Nepal beat Qatar by 5 runs in a thriller at Al Emirat in Oman in the last encounter. Oman beat UAE. So both Nepal and Oman have won, uh, you know, uh, 2 matches in the Super Six stage, and they're carrying forward 2 points from the group stage. In effect, they have 3 wins from 3 matches in the Super Six stage, and they're 95% Oman and Nepal are through as team number 18 and 19 for the main T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka next year. The contest for the 20th position is now essentially between UAE and Japan. Uh, they have a clash against each other on October 16th, which could potentially be a shootout to decide the 20th and last position for the T20 World Cup next year, Chandresh.
So you're saying potentially Japan could make it to the T20 World Cup. We already have Italy who have qualified for the men's T20 World Cup. Imagine Japan also making it to the men's T20 World Cup plus Nepal. It could be an interesting tournament. Not that they're going to be title contenders, but it's a feel good story and tells you where the future of the sport lies in terms of the growth that is possible for the sport with the format T20 format being the ideal vehicle to spread the game far and wide. Let's see what happens in the remaining days in this competition. Meanwhile, you also have some update about the a press conference held by former New Zealand wicketkeeper Lou Vincent. What's happening there?
Yes, Chandresh, Lou Vincent, who was involved in match fixing for New Zealand, he's addressing addressing a press conference in Melbourne about match fixing. As we all remember, 10 years ago, Vincent was banned for life for his involvement in attempting to manipulate a number of matches around the world, including in England, South Africa, India, and Bangladesh. Now in his own way, of course, his career, he was banned. His cricketing career came to an abrupt end. But now, in his own way, he's trying to educate the cricketing fraternity and others about the ills of match fixing, and trying to educate the youngsters, to stay away, from this whole evil of match fixing, which has gotten into cricket and other sports. So it's going to be an interesting, conference addressed by Lou Vincent in Melbourne.
Okay, let's see what happens there. Meanwhile, moving on, we'll just go to the answer to yesterday's question that was asked by us right here on cricketworld.com. And this was the answer. Take it away, Nikhil.
Yes, the question we asked yesterday, Chandresh, was Smriti Mandana became the first woman to aggregate 1,000 plus runs in a calendar year in women's ODIs during a knock of 80 versus Australia at Visakhapatnam, who held the record previously. And the answer for that is Belinda Clark of Australia, who scored 970 runs in 1997. So that we're going back 28 years here, Chandresh. That record was broken by Smriti Mandana this year. Uh,
And that 970 runs also included the double hundred in Mumbai against Denmark in the 1997 World Cup. So you can imagine what a year that was for Belinda Clark, a true legend of the game.
Absolutely, Chandresh. One of the all-time greats. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now moving to the question of the day, and here it is. Nikhil, take it away.
Yes, John Campbell and Shai Hope recorded hundreds in the second innings of the Delhi Test against India. When was the last instance where at least two West Indian batters recorded 100 in the same innings of a test in India? So that is the question. This will require some research. It's going to be an interesting answer when we, share it with you in our next show.
Absolutely. Remember, you can be part of the conversation right here on cricketworld.com. Like, share, subscribe, and comment on all our videos and be part of the conversation that Nikhil and I are having over here on cricketworld.com. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Till then, take good care of yourselves. It's goodbye and God bless from both Nikhil and myself. Goodbye.